United States National Bank, the bank with money ideas, is most pleased to offer this unusual sports film as part of its community service effort. One of the largest and fastest growing institutions in the West now has 58 offices to serve you with every bank convenience and facility. Among these is Master Charge with our unusual features, our unique bonus balance checking overdraft plan, and our exclusive saving insurance plan. This week, open an account at your nearest United States National Bank branch and learn more about the bank with money ideas for you. 1 decade ago, a football team was born, and with its first play established a lifestyle. This team took its name from an instrument of attack and symbolized its intent with a bolt of lightning. The Chargers had been born. The names were Lowe, Lincoln, Kasoric, Norton, Kemp, Rote. The credo was simple: strike quickly, ram the ball in with one big play, and hammer the opposition with points. Thus was established a legacy of excitement, a heritage of excellence, a tradition of football the Charger way. As descendants of this rich tradition, the modern San Diego Chargers are well schooled in the art of dynamic football. The style is bold, aggressive, and always exciting. It will utilize any play in existence. Or create an original one, like the guard sweep. Or the assistant coach out and up. Charger tradition is a matter of pride. The pride of a record 5 divisional titles. The pride of an ability to score more points than anyone else. The story of the 1969 Chargers is really a story of a decade of this tradition. They were part of something which had been started before, something which they would try to live up to and pass on. They were part of a legend, the legend of the lightning bolt. San Diego prepared for the 1969 season with the goal of ending the decade as it had begun, by winning a Western Divisional title. The challenge began in the first 2 weeks of the season with games against Kansas City and the brash young Cincinnati Bengals. Both games began impressively. Against the Chiefs, Dennis Partee provided just enough leg for a team record 50-yard field goal. In Cincinnati, rookie quarterback Greg Cook lost his balance, the ball, and 6 points. But then in both games, the Chargers ran full tilt into reality. With startling suddenness, the Chargers found themselves 0-2 and facing a must-win situation against Joe Namath and his New York Jets. The suave Mr. Namath came out blazing. John Hadle did not approach his counterpart in glamour, but he was prepared to match Namath pass for pass. The teams traded leads and touchdowns frantically. Namath had a record 29 completions, but Hadle had Gary Garrison. Garrison punished the New York secondary with the league's finest receiving performance of 1969. The Chargers had turned a must-win into a 34-27 victory. And Kansas John had outgunned Broadway Joe. The Chargers now faced a rematch with the impudent and presently undefeated Bengals, and San Diego planned a reunion for the occasion. Number 22, Dickie Post, and number 26, Brad Hubbard, had been a sensational rookie tandem. Hubbard's knee injury had split them. Now, 1 year later, they would combine again. Hubbard displayed pre-injury power as he rammed open Cincinnati's interior. And Post swung wide behind number 51, Bill Titus, to torture the Bengal flanks. The reunion proved lethal for the Bengals, as Post gained 120 yards and Hubbard scored 3 times to ensure a 21-14 victory. San Diego had started to drive back towards supremacy of the West. With 2 straight wins and renewed confidence, the Chargers traveled to Miami. On an Orange Bowl Saturday night, Gary Garrison continued to slide through opposing secondaries with ridiculous ease as he scored 2 first-half touchdowns. Yardage and points have always been the Charger way, but the development of a new dimension was becoming evident. The young Charger defense pressured, pursued, then picked apart the Miami attack. Kenny Graham destroyed the Dolphins with a weaving 77-yard interception return. Graham feels that any ball he scores with is special, so after reaching the end zone, he promptly sent the ball into retirement. This cost him $100, but the 21-14 Charger victory was well worth it. Graham was the prime mover of an improved pass defense, which included number 39, rookie Jim Hill, number 45, Speedy Duncan, and number 24, Bobby Howard. These men perform the demanding ballet of the secondary, where instant reaction is a necessity, and only one law exists: be there when the ball arrives. The Chargers intercepted 31 passes in 1969, second only to Kansas City. Another leader of the new Charger defense was Rick Redmond. He returned from knee injury, and back at his middle linebacking position, he barged from sideline to sideline to pace his team in unassisted tackles. Outside linebacker Pete Barnes, number 59, came in a trade, and his range resulted in 5 interceptions. Early in San Diego history, the Charger front 4 had been the scourge of the league. This was the original fearsome foursome, and they devastated their opposition. Through the years, this power had been lost, but now it was beginning to reappear with a new vitality. This development was personified by Steve DeLong, a 5-year pro from Tennessee. Number 82 had served his apprenticeship, and now opposing quarterbacks experienced the results. Every member of the Charger front line emulated DeLong's example. Men like 300-pound Russ Washington and ex-taxi squatter Bob Briggs, number 68, were part of the overall defensive renaissance. They blasted into an opponent's backfield with the one elemental purpose: to find the source of attack and crush it. To seek out the ball and bury it. With 3 straight wins and a potent defense, San Diego moved on to Boston. The Patriots could manage only 10 points. The Charger offense needed all the help the defense could give. A Dennis Partee field goal was the margin of a narrow 13-10 win. A fine combined effort had produced 4 successive victories and a showdown at home with Oakland. But an injured Gary Garrison was the ominous sign with which the Raider game began. The delicate balance of the San Diego passing game had been disturbed, and it began to miss by inches. The Oakland Raiders will take misplaced inches and use them to ruin an opponent. San Diego's win streak was ended at 4, and with bewildering suddenness a pall fell over the Chargers' legend. In the frozen bleakness of Denver, San Diego suffered its first shutout in 105 games. The Chargers had fallen into an abyss of frustration and injury. To make matters worse, Sid Gilman was sick. For 10 years, Sid Gilman and the Chargers had been one and the same. It was he who had shaped the legend, given it his own fierce determination, and supplied it with one goal: finish first and never settle for anything less. Now Gilman was too sick to continue. He chose his successor carefully, and Charlie Waller looked toward the future. In Oakland, the new coach and his team would attempt to regroup. Waller took the field as a head coach for the first time since 1951 at Decatur, Georgia High School, and he sought a spark around which his team could rally. Speedy Duncan provided a bonfire. Then Waller sought to ignite the Charger offense, and Nicky Post stepped forward. The spirited Chargers drove toward an upset. Dennis Partee's 3 field goals shot San Diego for a 4th-quarter lead over the Western Division leaders. But with only minutes remaining, Darryl LaMonica scrambled out of sure defeat. And as in so many Charger-Raider struggles of the past, one big play decided it. Head coach Waller's debut ended in defeat, but the legend had been remembered. The team had come back, and the next week against Denver, rookie Marty Dombras, number 14, directed its full return. Gary Garrison returned to make the attack whole. Nicky Post scrambled and bounced for the Chargers' first touchdown, and then everyone unloaded. Number 37, Gene Foster, overcame nagging injury to score. Versatile Russ Smith, number 20, joined in, as the San Diego offense exploded in the face of a team which only 3 weeks previously had shut them out. Domrus added his own touch as he barreled in twice. "45 points were the measure of San Diego's re-emergence, and Domrus celebrated with a strange victory dance. The next week in Houston, Domrus was still firing hot. The Oilers, however, checked San Diego's momentum and jumped to a 17-7 first-half lead. While his team fell behind, John Hadel waited on the sidelines. This was the same Kansas All-American who had joined the Chargers 8 years previously, and as a fresh-faced rookie had become a star. He had evolved into a poised veteran while throwing 133 touchdown passes. Hadel is a demon competitor, a hard-bitten pro who disregards punishment to move his team. But 1969 had gone badly for John Hadel from the beginning. In a preseason game against Los Angeles, Deacon Jones nearly tore his arm off. The injured arm troubled him throughout the most frustrating season of his career, making his performance inconsistent and causing him to lose his starting position. Now John Hadel waited on the sidelines, and with his team behind, he entered the game. With the practiced precision of experience, he brought his team back. Hadel brought his team back, and behind the rugged thrust of center Sam Gruneisen, number 78 All-Pro guard Walt Sweeney, guard Jim Schmedding, and tackles Terry Owens and Gene Ferguson, the points began to materialize. The Charger defense rallied to the cause as well. They shut out the Oilers in the second half, and then Kenny Graham, with the aid of a crushing block by Rick Redmond, again tallied the deciding points. This time, Graham remembered the $100 fine, and so he retired the ball a different way. Offense and defense united for the 21-17 victory, and John Hadel was back. With 2 consecutive wins, the Chargers headed west for San Diego. The legend is a matter of civic pride as San Diegans went to Old Balboa Stadium in 1961 to welcome an orphan team from Los Angeles. In 1969, they came to the new San Diego Stadium in record numbers. Charger games are a community event with San Diego County bands like Helix, Patrick Henry, and Grossmont entertaining. But what San Diego fans pay to see is exciting big play football. And against the Boston Patriots, this is what they got. The points which for a time had vanished now came in bushel baskets as the Chargers roared to their 3rd consecutive victory. Only the end of the season could stop the rushing Chargers, and in the final game, San Diego greeted Buffalo and the end of an era. Don Hudson, the immortal Hall of Fame pass receiver, was on hand to watch another receiver make football history. Several years previously, a wild and wind-blown rookie from Arkansas, wearing the unlikely number 24, caught a pass in his first pro game. Now 8 years and 96 games later, All-Pro number 19 Lance Allworth would catch another pass. Allworth had broken Hudson's consecutive game receiving record, and the game paused to honor them both. Besides Allworth, in the huddle for all 8 of his seasons, plus 2 previous ones, was tackle Ron Mix. Mix had come with the franchise, and for 10 years, number 74, clearing a path to the end zone, was a trademark of the Chargers sweep. Today, he would lead one more sweep. Ron Mix was retiring, and this was his day. This was farewell to the last original Charger and a fitting end to a decade of Charger football. An era ended, but the 45-6 thrashing which San Diego gave Buffalo heralded the beginning of a new age of Charger football. An age to continue a legend, the essence of which is found in 3 players: Garrison, Allworth, Post. At 5 feet 9 inches, Dickie Post lives dangerously among the defensive behemoths of pro football. But Post disregards his size and the punishment to seek out yardage. In 1969, he became the AFL's leading runner. Gary Garrison is a precision pattern maker whose excellence is divided into 2 areas. First, there is the catch. And then, after the catch is accomplished, there is the run. Lance Allworth binds the Charger past to Charger future. His charisma has been constant as the years have altered only his appearance, not his style of play. For 7 consecutive seasons, this man has gained more than 1,000 yards. A natural gift like Allworth's cannot be explained by any one facet. It may spring from an instinctive knowledge of how to mentally defeat the defensive back who faces him. It may all center in his hands. These are the hands of a pianist or a sculptor, hands with which Allworth makes an art out of catching a football. It may be the inborn quickness which releases him from the line like a startled deer. Whatever it may be, Lance Allworth running free is the symbol of Charger football. This is the legend. Past brilliance, present excitement, future promise. This is and will be the legend of the lightning bolt. United States National Bank, your family financial center, and the only bank you'll ever need, has been proud to bring you Charger highlights of 1969. This week, open an account with one of the 58 branch offices of United States National Bank, the bank with new money ideas for you. Member FDIC.